Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is the game that was played in round 9, Norway 2025, and it is between Magnus and Fabiano Caruana. Let's see how the game went. So Magnus is white here and he starts the game by playing d4. Fabi replied with d5. Okay, he continued c4, e6, g3, knight f6, bishop g2, bishop e7, knight f6. All right, castle, and then Fabi here took. Alsen here, he actually attacked that pawn by playing queen c2. Then Fabi, he he would have tried to protect it, but it will still won't be the right move, right? So if Fabi here played something like b5, Magnus would have played something like this, and then if this, okay, so this just seems wrong. Like, I mean, there are things like this that is accurate, and then if he tries this, there's this will lead to this, or if this, it will lead to this. So this shows that everything that would happen if black continued the game in this position by protecting the pawn, it would have been so bad. So Fabi knew this and he just played s6 here. Okay, Magnus played rook d1. Now he played that. Why? He knows that if Magnus now plays knight e5, there is knight d5, which actually prevents the rook from being captured. Alright, so the right continuation now is to play b3, takes, then, okay, bishop b7, bishop a3, okay, back, develop, and then he attacks that. He takes, he comes back, and then Magnus now defends that pawn by developing his last piece. If you look at this position, right, Magnus has lost a pawn, but he is up in development, which is something so good. Fabiano is up a pawn, but his rooks are not connected, and he still has a c7 pawn here, which is very, very weak. It is attacked at the moment, right? And we still don't know what Fabi will do to add a layer of protection to each, right? So let's see how the game continued here. Okay, so Fabi played a5, which is something odd. I don't know why. It just does not seem like the right, decision to make it. I was thinking about things like maybe rook c6. You see, yeah, uh, yeah. So Fabi here played f5. Okay, Magnus saw that and he attacked that pawn immediately. Now, Fabi here tried to protect that a5 pawn by sacrificing his c7 pawn, right? By playing c7 to c5. Alright, free pawn, right? Magnus captured it. Then he played queen c7. Alright, Magnus played b4, takes, rook takes, rook, rook takes, rook. And then here Magnus played rook c1, protecting that pawn. Rook c8, then queen b2. Right, he played h6, which is, you know, something odd as well. Um, I don't know why again he played that, but yeah, okay, Magnus captured it. Bishop c6, okay. Now, this is like where Fabiano now started cracking and he started playing some inaccuracies which just starts to make life difficult in his position here. So he sacrificed the b5 pawn by playing knight c4. Okay, Magnus takes it, knight takes knight, pawn takes. Then Magnus here plays with precision. He captured the bishop first by playing knight takes bishop, queen takes, and now rook takes pawn. Magnus, he's not, so he was down a pawn, right? But had a great position. Now he's up a pawn and he has a pass pawn. He also has a great position here. So things are really, really bad in Black's camp. Things are really, really bad in Black's camp. So Fabiano tries to add another layer of defense to that pawn, stopping it by all means. Magnus attacks the knight, and now Fabi just plays knight d5, and I don't know why again, right? It's really, really hard to play right moves here when your opponent has a pass pawn, right? So Magnus plays f5. Alright, queen attacks rook, rook comes down, queen attacks a, queen attacks the pawn, and then Magnus here, he first takes, and then he captures that stupid knight, and then he defends everything. Now, this position is completely winning for Magnus. He just has to be very, very accurate. So queen d7, king g2, queen c6, h4, king h8, rook c2, king g8 again. From the way Fabi is playing here, you can see that he he has like failed to think of something that he can actually, play and make his position a bit flexible. And he's right, s- simply because his position is just so bad. He has two, he has allowed two pass pawns, and he's playing against Magnus. world's #1 player. You understand? So things are not really okay here. Magnus plays h5, and that is like um that is like a bet, right? That pawn is not protected, and if Fabi captures it with his queen, then it means c6 can be pushed. C6 can be pushed, and these pawns are getting closer and closer to promotion. So Fabi needs to um play something. See, so yeah, he plays king h8 again. Okay, king h3 again, king g8, king h2. Then Fabi leaves the c6 square and comes to e6. Okay, then Magnus instantly attacks that weak d5 pawn. He tries to defend it. Then king g1. I'm sorry, king g2. Fabi plays that. Okay, now this was like a critical moment in the position. Why? Because Fabi is attacking both the b1 rook and the h5 pawn, right? So Magnus really has to save one here. So he saves the rook, of course. Then Fabi takes it, not knowing that that is a mistake. You can't capture that. Why? You are leaving the c6 square, and Magnus instantly plays his pawn to c6. He does not even wait a second, right? He does not even wait. He plays it. And things are now really bad, right? So Fabi here plays again an inaccuracy again by playing his king to h7, which doesn't even make any sense. But what can he do, right? He has a terrible position. He has a very bad position here. Magnus here plays again another best move. Now this is the only move that actually wins here on a spot. Magnus played e6, and this is the beginning of Fabiano's decline. He tries that, which again is not a good move, and then Magnus plays the correct move again, which is rook e2. At this time, Fabiano's time was like 2 minutes. He was down or very low in time, and then he made another mistake by removing his rook on the defense, and then he played rook a8 with plans of rook a3 and then threaten the g3 square here. Magnus played the best move again, which is queen takes d5. Rook a3, and Magnus played the best move again, which is pinning the king, which is king. No, he played queen e4. Fabiano captured and he resigned.